Hey, so welcome to the main cut. I'm your host, Jade, and today I am here with assistant celebrity and editorial stylist Kay Cantrell. And Kay has done some incredible work for stars heading to the likes of the Met Gala. She's landed a cover for InStyle with Anna Delvey, presented on stage at Texture on Set, and being mentored by the one and only Naeemah Lafond. And today we will talk to her about how she started to build her career in the hair industry, advice for anyone else who's coming up behind her. And also just some perspective on the things that are happening in the industry. What could we be doing better to create a textured hair space that really nurtures and builds everybody up? So yeah, well, welcome to the show. Okay, we're
Thank you
really
so much.
no.
That was an introduction.
No, I mean, we're lucky to have you here. The least I can do is give you a good intro,
Thank
because
you.
you're busy. There's many things going on. But for those that don't know you, those that are listeners, they're tuning in. Tell us a bit about your journey into the hair industry. How did it all start?
Okay. It all started, I would say, I've been doing hair for over 10 years now.
Wow.
I went to school, I was in school, I was in high school. I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. Um, my background in my family, everyone went to school for like nursing or the army and stuff like that. So it was really difficult to figure out what I wanted to do because I knew like, well, I love doing hair. I was doing hair at the time in high school already for like my friends and
Mm.
just like by word of mouth, like everyone knew like I did hair. And that was like back in the day where we had like Craigslist. So I used to literally write ads on Craigslist to get clients for to do hair. Like
Okay.
before I even went to hair school. And then when I graduated, I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go to hair school. So I wound up going to Empire Beauty School in Manhattan because I was living in New York at the time. And it was amazing. It was so, I always tell people I feel like I got the best of both worlds because when I started going to Empire in Manhattan, all my teachers were educators in textured hair. So I learned how to do sew-ins and wigs and braids and because they all were stylists who, that's what they did. And so I went there for about 6 months before I wanted to move into Pennsylvania. And when I moved to Pennsylvania, I continued going to school. But there, I felt like I learned more how to work with more finer hair, how to do color, how to do all those services. So I feel like I learned the best of both because now these girls have they're able to learn about texture hair. When I was in school, you were lucky if you got to learn. You only had like one class that taught you about texture hair, and it was only for like a day.
Oh,
But being that I went to school and I started in Manhattan, I got to learn so much about texture hair, which was really nice. And then from there, I wound up going and getting my license. And since then, I've just been doing hair. I've worked in several different salons,
okay.
kind of just like figuring it out over time. And then one day I wound up getting a call actually for someone in town. I was still living in Pennsylvania at the time, and she was a designer, a local designer, and she wanted me to do hair for her models for a photo shoot. And she was like, "Hey, do you know how to do like editorial hair?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to do editorial hair." I had no clue what editorial hair was at the time, but I was like, "Yeah, I definitely can do it." And I wound up DMing Naeemah on Instagram and asking her, like, hey, I've been following you. Like, I love your work. I have an opportunity to do a shoot. Can you give me like some tips about editorial hair?
Mm.
And she wound up actually writing me back, which was so surprising because I'm like, she's not going to write me back. But I just took the chance. Like, I just stepped out on faith and took the chance. And
Mm.
she wrote me back, and I wind up not even doing the shoot because the girl canceled. She wound up not even having the shoot, But
Oh,
2 weeks later, Naeemah had wrote me back on Instagram and asked me to come with her and assist her for a fashion show that she was doing in New York. And this was Christopher John Rogers' fashion show. So that was
wow.
my first opportunity getting into on-set hair and fashion hair. And from there, the doors have just like opened up for me. And that was in 2020 that happened. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. Also because I feel like people really underestimate the act of just like making a simple ask.
Literally.
Imagine just one question for a bit of advice led you to being on your first fashion set.
Literally. It was like so I couldn't believe it. It was just like, oh my God. Like I had never done a fashion show before. She
Hmm.
had like her assistant call me. They sent me a bunch of hair products, tools, everything to prepare for the show. And
Wow.
her lead assistant Dre at the time, which is who I work with now, as
Hmm.
well, assisting on set. She had called me and just was like letting me know like all the tips and everything that I needed to know before I got there, how
Hmm.
things were gonna go, so I wouldn't be nervous.
Hmm.
And I went there, and it was just like I felt like, oh my God, like I walked in and I'm just like, I'm at a fashion show, like, and there's all these like tall, beautiful models and
Oh.
that if anyone has ever done fashion shows, it's crazy behind there. So it was like nothing that I expected. It was just, and from there I was like, oh, I love this. Like this is for me. Like I'm never gonna go back to the salon. Like, and I did. I worked at the salon for a little bit after, and then I was just so intrigued, and I wanted to work more and more. And
Hmm.
from that one opportunity, I met someone. I talked to a makeup artist that was there, and me and him wind up being cool. And literally, like a week or two later, he hit me up and was like, "Hey, I remember you from the fashion show. Like, there's this job. They need a hairstylist. Are you available?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm available." And
Oh.
that's honestly how it works. It's like networking and meeting people, being yourself, being authentic,
Hmm.
gets you into so many different doors that you honestly I don't even know sometimes how I'm where I'm at, like, so it's literally just talking to people.
100%. I mean, I feel like, especially in an industry where it's not just about the quality of your work, but
Yes.
it's about the energy that you're giving to people when you're in the room with them, right? You've got to
Yes.
work with makeup, you've got to work with like design, whether it be on a
Yes.
TV set and it's costume or it's fashion and it's an actual
Yes.
designer. You have to work with so many people as well as the talent, whether that's a model or an actor or an actress. If
Yes.
you're not, if people don't get a feel for who you are as well as how good your work is, it's really difficult for them to be like, oh, I think they'd be a good fit for the job. They have to
Yes.
feel like they got a piece of you from those conversations.
Yes. So true. So true. So
And
true.
I mean, it also must have been amazing having Naeemah as your introduction to
Yeah.
that. You know, she is the.
Yeah.
It's so funny because we've had a couple of people that are her mentees that we've
Yes.
interviewed, and it's always like people always say the same thing that she's done so much for them and
Oh
helped them.
my God. A true light, honestly.
So, I mean, what was that actual experience like? So, you've been kitted out. She's kind of introduced you to her team. What
Yeah.
happens when you get to the fashion show?
Oh, so when I get to the fashion show, I'm like a deer in headlights, and I'm just like looking. I'm like looking at everyone, and like at the time, Naeemah was working, so I was like kind of awkwardly staring at her because I didn't know what to do. And she's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey, it's good to meet you," or whatever. And she was like, "It's good to meet you too." And it's like all this craziness, madness going on. And she's like, you could go set up your table. And I was like, okay. And I wound up setting up my table. And I think it's so important by the people who are leading because everyone
Mm,
there had such good energy. So it was like right away setting up my table. There were other hairstylists there. They were amazing. And it was kind of like we all just started talking and we jumped in. We were like helping each other. Like, so
Mhm.
everything really flowed so naturally with everything. Hair is something that, it's like that's my skill. I know how to do hair. So even if this is a new environment for me, the skill is still gonna be there. We gotta jump in. We're doing ponytails. We're slicking the hair back. Like,
Mhm.
I believe the theme for that show, a lot of it was like old school '90s, but editorial. Like, so the ponytails and the little wispy ends that were coming out, and like blunt cuts, like, so it was really, really cool. Flat twists and twisties, like, but just elevated. And it was like, it was amazing to see her actually in action working. And I
Mm.
was just like, wow. I was just, I don't even know. Like, it was just so crazy. It was really a crazy experience. And that show was amazing. It was a really good show. And the team was so great.
I can
So great.
imagine. And I mean, that also speaks to the people that she has around her, right? Because that's the
Yes.
team that you have to put together for those things. And if you could walk in and feel looked after in what was craziness
Yeah. Yeah. And the chaos.
and the chaos, that really speaks to the kind of environment that she's trying to create for the people on
Yes.
on her team. So no, that's amazing to hear. And so you went from that's your first fashion, your first fashion show, you've got the bug, this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
What happens after that? So you've had your first gig. You mentioned that you met a makeup artist. He introduced you to your next gig. So is
Yeah.
it a case of like it's word of mouth and you start getting more and more that way? Or are
Yeah.
you searching for the different opportunities? How did that work?
Honestly, to be 100% honest, I did not go searching. It was just like something that started being just more attracted to me, and the opportunities just started coming. From there, I met my friend Lauren. She works in film. And so she would hit me up to do jobs with her through email. And it was just like word of mouth constantly. I think one of the things that people will say about me is that I'm very nice. So like I'm not one of those people who get on set and I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like
Mm,
usually it's in the morning. I'm already excited because it's like I get to wake up every day and do like what I love to do. So I'm the person that's coming on set and I'm like, good morning to everybody. Like I don't really watch like sometimes I don't read the room as far as like the vibe. Like I just come in being myself. So even if there are times where like I'm on a set and everyone's not so like hyper, like, or
mm,
they're not so like, giddy about something, I'm still like, hey, good morning. And so by the end of the day, they're like, hey, what's your name again? Yeah, nice to meet you. And like we're starting up a conversation.
mm,
So I think that's a lot of the reasons why when it does come to me getting an opportunity, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that girl. Like, let me, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, so I honestly just would start getting emails, and they were crazy because everyone knows in this field, you get an email like, I could get an email tonight, like, hey, are you available at 8 o'clock? I'm like, yeah, I'm available. And so like you have to be like you have to be if
Mm,
this is something that you want. And people ask me all the time like, how can I start, how do I get into it? I don't really know all the ins and outs because I'm still learning, like, and a
mm,
lot of opportunities just came to me, so I don't really know. But I do know that you have to really want it, you have to really be available. I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, but I drove, so it was like when I did get emails during those times where it's like, hey, are you available tomorrow? It was like, I don't care what I could have had a booked day at the salon, and I've been doing my clients for years. I would
mm,
text everybody, hey y'all, is it possible for you to reschedule? If some of my
mm,
clients couldn't reschedule, I would be trying to fit them in with my girl Jessica. Like, hey girl, I'm not gonna be at the shop tomorrow. Can you take my client? Like this one can't
mm,
reschedule because I wanted to be available because I knew it was something that this is what I want to do. Like, So I gotta make myself available. I can't not be available because then them emails gonna slow down and they're gonna be like, all right, well, she ain't available. We not gonna keep hitting her up for her to be like she can't come, you know?
Mm.
So yeah.
No, I think that's I guess it's one of the realities of the work. You know, so when
Mm-hmm.
you're in the field and you know that not everything can be like super pre-planned, they will
Right.
say, or even if somebody drops out and then it's not even on them, it's just they're trying to fill a gap in really, really quickly.
Yes.
Like, how quickly can you get to them? Can you get back to them? Can you get to the job? And when you do the work and you do it well, they've not only remembered that you did the job well, they've remembered that they asked you like with 6 hours notice.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Literally.
But I think it's really important for people to know the realities of the work, because there are so many people that say, "Oh, I really want to try going into like celebrity hairstyling or doing things for like special occasions and events or being on sets." And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds and looks super, super glamorous, but it isn't.
That part. That part. Yeah. It looks pretty. It looks like it's so much fun. And sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's really like, even though we're doing hair or we're doing makeup or we're working on set and we're working with celebrities and this, that, it's really a lot. It's strenuous. You're on your feet. You're standing up. You're running to the camera to fix a piece of hair, a little flyaway, and running back. You know, like
Mm,
you're constantly making sure that everything is running right, especially when, like me, I'm assisting, you know, like, so when I'm assisting someone, you're there to help them. You're there to make their job easier for them, for everything to flow, because you guys are a team. And you know, when you come in from a salon, sometimes you don't know how to work as a team. You don't know
mm,
how to take someone telling you, hey, do the ponytail this way, because you might feel like, well, I've been doing hair for however long I've been doing hair. You're going to tell me how to do this ponytail? I know how to do a ponytail. But
mm,
you're helping someone else bring their vision and their creation to life, and you're there to help them. So you have to be open to all of that. You have to be open. Like when you're coming on to a set, it's like, you want to be there to learn. You can't ask 1,000 questions. You need to be paying attention and seeing, like, how does this go? How does this work? What's the jargon when people are speaking? You know, all these things matter. So it's really a lot.
no, it
It's
is, and
a lot.
it's so good. I think one of the things that I really love is having a chance to speak to people who are living it,
Yeah.
because then the people that are like, "Oh, I'm interested," they can just hear the reality of it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to go and you have to see for yourself,
Yes.
and sometimes you can hear it and be like, "Oh, is that really for me?
Is that for you?
Do I really want to be in my bed at 10 o'clock and then realize I have like 5 hours to sleep because somebody sent me an email? Do I?" Like,
Right.
but it's really good to have like this insight into what really happens. And I mean, you've done fashion, you've done the you've helped them prepare for people prepare for red carpet.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the InStyle cover, because I'm super curious, just because Anna Delvey has become like a really controversial character since
Yes.
reinventing Anna made its way to Netflix in 2022. For those that haven't
Yeah.
watched it, I've like watched it twice. It is
It
like
was so good, wasn't
an
it?
amazing series.
It was so good. It was
Uh,
so good.
Genuinely an amazing series for those that haven't
It
watched it,
was a
come
great
watch it.
series.
But what was that whole experience like from the moment you got the job to doing the job?
Shout out to my girl Maddie. She's the one who got me it. She's a makeup artist. I think that's the thing too. Like a lot of times it's makeup, and makeup always needs hair, and hair always needs makeup.
Mm,
So a lot of my opportunities do come from people in the makeup industry, you know, like just knowing like, hey, I know this girl, she does hair, she's bomb, you know.
mm.
So that's kind of how it worked out. She just like texted me one day and was like, hey, it's a cover shoot for InStyle. And I was like, what? Like, me? You want me to come? Like, she's like, yeah, are you available to do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm available. That's like my favorite word in this industry. Kay is available, okay? Like, I'm available, definitely. But yeah, she hit me up. She asked me if I was available. I told her, yeah, I can come and do it. And it was so chill. The photographer was amazing. Like literally amazing. They normally shoot covers, I believe, for InStyle. So it was really, it was so easy going. Anna was so chill. Like she was so chill. She was so sweet. Like it was just figuring out at that point. It was like, all right, I have a mood of where they want the hair to be, and then how do I make that mood my mood? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I gonna do to put my creative twist, or if this is gonna work, or if this isn't gonna work? You know, like because sometimes you'll get a mood board, and it's like, you know, for this person, I don't think this is gonna work, but this is what we can do. You know, sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
have to pivot. But it was really easy going. She was so chill. She loved her hair. Like, and those pictures came out amazing. Like, I was so happy with it.
No, I can imagine. And also, it's just, I think when somebody puts you forward for a job as well, it's always like you walk into those situations knowing it's not just you, it's them, that
Right.
they put you forward. So you want to do a good job for yourself, but also, you know, so whoever they recommended you to is like, oh, yeah, I can really trust their judgment because they brought a
Yes.
great person in, you
Yeah,
know?
and it is pressure sometimes because, like I said, when you're on set, you never know when something is going to pivot. You never know if you start off thinking that you're going in doing one thing, and they're like, you know what, actually, we're going to just scratch that. We don't want that. We're going to do this. And it's
Mm,
like, they don't want to hear, well, I didn't know I was coming here to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to figure out how to make it happen. And sometimes you might even have to advocate for yourself and say, like, you know, well, no, that can't happen, that's not
mm,
possible, but this is what we can do, you know. So I always want to make sure I make someone look good, especially when they have put their foot out for me to help me, you know, further myself in my career and what I'm doing. So yeah, but it went really well. I was happy.
no, I love that. I love that. And I think, again, a really good piece of advice that you gave is bear in mind the different departments that you have to work with and build relationships with them too. It's not just
Yeah.
building relationships with a hairstylist, it's makeup, it's like, say, the fashion, the team that are doing costumes, because
Yes.
they're the ones that'll be like, oh, this is the vibe I'm going for. I know that
Yeah.
person can deliver on that.
Even the people behind the scenes, the PAs, the people who are doing the lighting, who are doing, because when you start to notice when you get on certain sets, you are seeing the same people. You're seeing the same people, and these people have relationships with production and the people who are making these things come to life. So it's always good to speak to everyone. You never know who you're speaking to. You never know who's watching you when you're on set. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people, there's so many eyes, like, and people will remember you for either good or bad, you know. So you want to make sure that you're just you're having your set etiquette at all times.
It's
At all
like
times.
speaking to everybody with the same level of respect, because it
Yes.
doesn't matter what job somebody's doing today. The
Yes.
PA today could be the producer tomorrow. Let's
Literally. 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 Yes. So true.
it's just I feel like it's one of those industries where the humble are the ones that survive.
Yes. Yes. Yes, very true. Very true. Very.
Because it's so important. Like you say, it's the energy that you're bringing to the set, and it's not just the
Mhm.
energy that you're giving to the person you're styling, it's the energy towards the whole team. That can
Yes.
really change the way everybody feels.
Yes.
And nobody wants to be working with somebody that is kind of like stepping on other people.
Yes.
Nobody wants to
Yes.
be in that room.
No, I surely don't. I'm like, oh, they're having a. I don't want to run into them. Let me not be around. Let me find something to do because it throws you. It throws you. It really throws you off.
Yeah, and it doesn't help with the future. And you've got to think
Yes.
at the beginning, where do you want to be in 3, 4, 5 years time,
Yes.
and everybody that you're in a room with is going to play a part in getting you there.
Yes. And also just having tough skin, because sometimes there might be someone that is in a role of importance that they're not the most likable, but it doesn't matter. You're here to do your job. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Like I'm a real big person where I let things roll off my back. Like you make go home and fume about it, but when you're at work, keep it cute, keep it professional, do your job, because the bills have to be paid.
That's
Do
so
your
true.
job.
Bills
Don't
have
let
to be
anyone mistreat you. Don't let anyone abuse you. But the little things, just let it roll off your back.
paid.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
It pays to have thick skin and a short term memory
Yes.
in those
Yes.
environments.
Yes. For sure.
But I mean, there's so much more to being a stylist than people think. You're running your own business, you're working for yourself. You have to build up your portfolio, you have to be the admin assistant, the finance manager, the social media manager, the everything person. And that's not easy. That's a
Yeah.
lot of work when you're independent. So, how have you been able to balance that as you've been working on building out your career?
Honestly, I pray every day. I just pray. I pray, and I also have the support of my husband. Honestly, like he helps me so much with everything. He already thinks he's my manager, so he like has my schedule down. So he's, don't forget you have this. Don't forget you have that. I think it's just having support. Like that's so important, because, like you said, we do so much ourselves that it's just so important that you need to have support. You need to write things. I write things down. For me, it's like so important for me to have like, okay, this is what I need to do, especially when it comes to finances. Like
Mm.
them net 30s and net 60s, okay? Like, child, you better make sure that you have your affairs in order. Like, you cannot be out here playing games.
Yeah. Have a
But
good accountant.
right, okay? Because it gets crazy. It's all part of that for me, especially like I'm just learning these things. So even it's so funny because I was on my way to set today and I'm like, I need a financial advisor. Like, I feel like I'm doing well with how I'm balancing things, but I feel like I can be doing so much better.
Mm.
So I'm like, I need to get this set in stone. Like, I need to definitely get a financial advisor. I definitely need to get myself on a schedule with social media. Like, I've been trying to post more. And for me, I hate being in front of the camera. That's why I was so nervous today. I was
Oh.
so nervous because I never um sometimes I also don't have I just say whatever comes to my mind sometimes. And I had to learn like I gotta just watch what I say. And
Mm.
I feel like I never understood that. Like as my career is growing, like I'd be like, why don't people just say whatever? And it's like, babes, you can't say just whatever you want. This is still
Mm.
business.
Yeah.
What you say is gonna, it'll be out there on the internet and you can't take it back. And certain people won't want to work with you and you might not be able to brand yourself the way that you want to. So you are the brand.
Yeah.
So that part, like just having like a speech coach and learning how to talk, like,
Mm.
like being able to do all these things, it's so much to think about. And the number one way I get through that is just having my support partner, which is my husband, which I love. Cause times where I can't say what I want to say, I can say it to him, like my stresses, the things that I'm stressed out about. And he always just has such a good feedback of like, how to go about things or what to do with this business or even ideas when I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with hair and this, that. It's like, it's just really good to have that one person or a village, whatever, to support you through that.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's so important to have the right people around you because, like,
Yeah.
they're the ones, they think they say the 5 people you spend the most time with are the ones that have the most influence over your life.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that those 5 people are 5 of the right people.
Yes. Literally.
And it sounds like you have yours. And I think, yeah, it takes a village to build a business. A
It
business is like
definitely
its
does.
own child. It definitely takes a village to build it up. And when you are the business, that's when you need that support system. You need those people in your life to support you as you're going along that journey.
Yes. Yes. So true.
And I mean, like I said, you've done so many things already, and there must be many a moment that you've been like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening." So, what are some of the most memorable things that have happened in your career so far?
Oh my God. Being on stage with my mentor, Naeemah LaFond. I think I cried for like 5 minutes. I needed a whole break. It was just like, when I moved here, my baby is 7 months. So I moved here right after having my baby
Oh wow.
because I just said I need to go all in. Like I said, I pray all the time, and I stepped out on faith, and I was living in Pennsylvania. I had my own space, my own apartment,
Mm,
and I was like, I don't know. I think it's time for me to move. Like I'm number one with some God has given me a sign. So I'm like,
mm,
I just think it's time to move, and I wind up just leaving my apartment, saying like once my lease was up, okay, I'm gonna leave. And it was
mm,
like, all right, well, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna move to New York. Like after I have this baby, I'm gonna move to New York. And I moved to New York, and when I got here, it was like rapid. I already knew people already knew of me. I was working,
mm,
I was assisting, but it was just like I started getting more jobs, and I started getting booked more and started
mm,
assisting more, and like I was just working nonstop right after I had my baby. And so when Naeemah told me that she asked like, "Hey, I just want to ask you guys in front of everyone, like, would you want to come on stage with me and do hair?" It was just like, what?
mm.
Be on stage at the biggest hair show in New York City. We already had knew that all these like legends in hair were gonna be there in the building. And now you want me to be on stage too, girl? It was so let alone I already knew I was gonna be assisting her backstage. So then her telling me like, yeah, like I want you on stage too. It was just like mind epic blowing. Like, wow. I think that is like that will forever be the most memorable thing that happened in my career thus far, because I think that she's just such an amazing stylist
Mm,
and just a person in general, and she's done so much for me. But to share such a special moment with me, it was just like it was amazing. It was so amazing. I was so scared. I was like, I thought I forgot how to do hair at that point. I'm like, I don't think I know. I don't think I know what to do. It was crazy, but that was definitely one of the most memorable things. And then being able to assist on this Met rollout,
ah.
I can't. I it was just like back to, because we have been working on that for like months. Like,
Oh,
and
okay.
so for Dre, who was once Naeemah's lead assistant, to now ask me to be her assistant to help her, I'm like, God, you doing too much. I was so happy and I was so grateful, and I'm just like, wow, like the pictures came out a couple days ago, and now to just see my name being tagged on such a major project,
Oh,
insane, insane,
no,
insane.
that's really amazing to hear, and also I think something for people to bear in mind that sometimes it can take a while, and sometimes
Mhm.
it can escalate real quick.
Yes. So be ready.
Be ready for either.
Right. Be ready for either, for sure. Be ready. And even in being ready, it's like I'm a person who I'm so hard on myself when I work
Mm,
so hard, you know, like I want to make sure I'm always doing my best and I'm always putting my best foot forward. And so like I think it was like last week, I literally text Naeemah and I'm like, I think I could be doing more. She's like, girl, you just got here. You're doing a lot. Like it's okay. But it's like once you get a taste of what you can, how your career can go and where it can go, it's like the constant pressure to just do more. And so that's
mm,
why, when we were talking earlier, I'm like, I also have to learn that it's okay to rest too. It's
no.
okay to just take a pause. Like, it's okay sometimes to be like, you know what? I don't think I'm available for that.
Mm,
Because I can get myself in a place where I'm like, yes, 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 like, and I'm always available and I'm not having time to really think and create the way that I feel like if I had rest, I could show up better.
yeah.
So it's balance. I'm
Yeah,
trying
no,
to learn that.
100%. You need to have rest to be able to bring the best version of yourself to the table.
Yes.
So it's important to make sure you say yes to yourself as well as saying yes to
Yes.
your work.
Yes.
But I mean, there's also just so much happening in the industry itself right now, and the textured hair space. It feels like there's more happening. There's more eyes on it. There are more people trying to do great things within it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also still problems that need to be solved.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the biggest problems you've seen in the textured hair community right now, and how do you think we can start to fix some of those things?
I mean, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is what it's always been for a while, and it's just the education, the knowledge, like
Mm,
knowing, you know what I'm saying, like, and having the will to want to learn, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying. There's like spaces sometimes where you could get in and you're like, oh, well, like, I know on this set they may want me here because they think I'm just like a braider. And it's great for
Mhm.
me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. But at the same time, it's like also educate yourselves on how to get things done, you know what I'm saying? Or
Mm,
don't only call me for the braiding jobs because I know how to do everything, you know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like, so I think that's like one of the biggest things really is just having those people who do have the power to create opportunities, actually giving people who took the time out to learn, be able
mm.
to show what they've learned, you know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
to hire those people and have those people in those spaces, because it's not a lot of us in those spaces, and I feel like it should be so much more,
Mm,
so much more. So just being able to just spread spread the opportunities out for us.
yeah. No, most definitely. And especially when we still have, the likes of actors and actresses saying that they're not getting the right stylists on set. And it's not the lack of stylists. The number of stylists is not the
Exactly.
problem.
Exactly. That part.
There's enough of them out there. It's just,
That
why
part.
aren't they getting the work? Why aren't there people searching for them so
And
that
I feel like that's like one of the pros and cons about networking too, right? Because you get in
mm,
these spaces where it's like, well, sometimes these people are just, this is their team. And then
mm,
you have people who are working with their glam team all these years. And those are the people who are getting the jobs. And then maybe they're not further educating themselves on what's going on and the things that they need to further themselves on. So then you have women and people, hairstylists or even makeup artists who know how to do the work, but they're not in the circle,
yeah.
So it's always a catch 22 for something. I am happy that it's like now people want to do more texture hair because it does benefit us. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to feel like it's just not a trend.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to
Mm,
feel like this is gonna keep up. You know, like we're gonna continue to have opportunities and jobs for us. You know?
mm. No, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
It can't just be people riding the wave of, oh, this is the big thing right now. Let's like
Right.
jump on that bandwagon. You know, it needs to
Right.
be a permanent change where it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
there's going to be a process to make sure that we're getting the right stylist, the right makeup artist for the talent that comes through the doors.
Yes. Yes. And because it shows, there's times where I've been on set and I've done someone hair and they're like, oh my God, like, I love my
Mm,
hair. You know, like, wow. And they're so happy. And that presents itself in the work and in the art. Like, you
mm,
want the talent to feel good about themselves. It's just as if you have someone in your shop, you know, like, when they
mm.
get up from the chair, you want them to feel beautiful. You want them to feel like, yeah, you know, you get your hair done, you feel like you could conquer the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Ain't nothing like feeling good and being service and having such a good service with someone. I
Mm.
even have models who like literally call me to their house to do their hair.
Oh,
Some that I've met on set, you know? So it's like it's so important, and it's just like I'm happy that you're happy, but it also is like, dang, you didn't feel confident before when someone else did it, or you were
mm.
on a set where you didn't have the greatest experience, and that just sucks. Like nobody wants to feel like that.
No, nobody does. And I mean, they're also just so much more able to turn up when they look and feel good.
Yes,
And it shouldn't be a case that there are some people in the room that do look and feel good because they care to cater to them, and there are
right.
others that don't. You know, everybody should have a stylist, makeup artist that cares enough, that understands their hair, their skin tone enough to do their work justice,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And I think, like, you're right, it is about getting more of us into those spaces,
yes,
because the more of us there are in there, the more, you know, these models, these actors, these actresses can be served.
yes. Period.
So no, I love that. And I mean, for any of the up and coming stylists that dream of being on set one day, what is your one piece of advice for them?
Oh my God. I guess my one piece of advice has to be step out on faith. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Don't think that it's too far fetched. Don't think that it's impossible. Just do it. Just go for
Yeah,
it.
no, because I think sometimes we can overthink and people will think things over 500 times before they do, but there could be opportunities missed whilst you're sitting there.
Yes. Yes. And even if you hear no sometimes, there's always a yes coming. So it's
Mm.
okay.
Uh, Persistency helps.
Yes. Being persistent. Don't just jump out and don't swim. Please swim when you jump out.
You know, there is nothing wrong with it. Like I said, it can go one of two ways. It can either take time or it can take off really quickly.
Yes.
If you're prepared for both, then you can be patient when you're in that season of waiting.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
And I mean, this is the last question from me, but
Okay.
you know, I can imagine you've already done so much and there's probably a few projects that you're working on at the moment. So what is the next big thing for you?
Oh my God. I have like a really exciting set that I'm going to be on that I can't really talk about right now. But I'm like so excited to work on this set. That's a major thing for me. I've honestly been testing so much. So I've been shooting with all different types of photographers. And I have a lot more photographers that have been hitting me up to work with me, which is
Amazing.
super amazing because it just helps me further my career and builds my portfolio, which is
Mm,
so key and important, is making sure that your portfolio reflects the type of work that you want to do, you know? So
yeah.
that's been super dope. And honestly, I'm just being open to whatever is coming my way. Like I've been doing. I do not I'm not one of those people who is like, I got this plan. I kind of just let it flow, and I just flow with everything that's happening. And I don't know. It's not my plan. It's God's plan. You know, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing or where I'm headed. I got an idea, but you know what I'm saying? I have some really cool, dope things happening for me, which I'm really grateful and happy for. So yes.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. And on the thing that's coming up that you can't talk about, for anybody that is curious, we will add links to Kay's Instagram so you can keep an eye on what she's doing and you can be first to
Yes.
know.
Yes. Please keep an eye out because I have so much more to go.
No, we can't wait to see it. But I just want to say a huge thank you. Thank you for giving us your time and your energy, especially because like I said, we know that you're super busy and being on set is also it's draining. It's amazing,
Yeah.
but it's draining. So thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. I think that this podcast is amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in the education and the gems that you're dropping. It's so important because, there's not a lot of people doing it, and I love it.
Thank you. No, we genuinely appreciate that. The big thing for us is how can we support stylists? How can we help people run a better business? How can we help give people access to all the information that's hidden,
Yes.
so we
Yes.
just want to bring that to light so that as many people can like reach those dreams and aspirations that they have as possible.
Yes. I love that. So amazing.
Thank you so much, Kay. We really appreciate you, and we also appreciate all of the listeners because without you we wouldn't have a podcast. So
Yes.
thank you for carrying it through and listening all the way to the end. If this has affected you in any way, if this is really sung true to you, please do share, like, comment. We want to build up our community. We want to make sure that we're reaching as many people as possible, and that happens all through you that are listening now. So again, a big thank you for listening and for all of your support so far. And we will see you on the next episode.